Hey, you should be live. Microphone looks good. Video capture. Yep. Alright, we're back. Working on Eriette. I believe it's Eriette, not Eriette. The Charmed Apple. Could be either. Much like Balluna. Not 100% sure how to pronounce her name, but Cockatiel is going absolutely nuts because he really wanted me to be my brother when I came home, dropping my brother off at work. Very much like for somebody to go get my brother and bring him home. He's gonna keep screaming about it until somebody does that for him. So, we're on Conflux. We finished with Commander Legends Baldur's Gate last time, and we are looking for cards that work well with Eriette, surprisingly. Now, let's look for cards that work, like, super well with some other, completely different legend instead. But have Eriette be the commander. So we're looking for mostly interesting auras, like one of the key things for this deck. So, or cards that interact with them. Right, Parasite, Lapse of Certainty. Lapse has like some chance of making into my decks when I'm white black because a card that delays a counterspell. I was working on some other things before. I got some promos in foreign language foils. Going to Conflux. I will consider Lapse because it buys us a full turn a lot of the time against a card that was going to absolutely ruin what we had set up, and sometimes that's enough. I don't know that it'll make the final version of the deck, but when you don't have access to other things, sometimes a Lapse of Certainty and a Reprieve are the best you can do. Prevent all non-combat damage to be dealt to creatures I control. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Martial Coup. Yeah, we really don't want Wraths because we want to load up enchantments onto things. We will take a Path to Exile, though, because sometimes we need the thing to go away, not just not be able to attack us. Although this deck is more likely than most to cut something like Path to Exile in favor of using my auras to make the creature go elsewhere, but sometimes we are going to need to reach out and kill something of significant size, so we're going to need a path and a swords, most likely. Oh, we aren't supposed to control a green permanent, so we're not going to bother with the rogues. Whenever I cast an enchantment spell, I make a 4/4 angel. I mean, I kind of have to consider something like that. Whether or not we'll run it will depend entirely on what we decide to actually put in the deck, but if we're playing that many enchantments naturally, an army of 4/4 flyers seems like it's going to win me the game, so. When a creature dies, destroy enchanted creature. It's kind of the opposite of what I want. I want the creature to stay in play and be awkward, not suddenly explode. Alright, so we should be on Conspiracy Take the Crown now. And then we get 3 core sets in a row. Fine. Might even be something good in the core sets. Does Take the Crown work? I think Take the Crown works with the set number where we just get the cards that are unique to it. No, you don't care about voting. That has to be noted when I draft it. Melee attacks. Return target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the number of players you attack this combat. Nope. No strength or numbers, no. There's when you draft it. I just don't think we're going to have room for the Monarchy cards, is the issue. Like, we definitely have the the ability to prevent the opponents from attacking us to get value out of the monarchy, but not sure that's what we actually want. Alright, Spectral Grasp is a pacifism that doesn't stop our opponents from attacking each other. So it's another card that we definitely don't mind putting it on theirs, and if it works out, like if they kill Eriette or something, they still can't attack us, so similar to the Goad enchantments and the other ones, the Vows. I am down for this because it does what we need it to. And it still functions when Eriette goes away, so. I don't think we need Sanctum Prelate. Although we can run Sanctum Prelate and try and choose, like, 5 or 6 to block out a lot of the mass removal spells that would ruin us. Yeah. Probably. Alright, I'm going to add it to the list and we'll see if we can actually run it. Is it opponents or all players can't play? All players, okay. So we have to be careful that we don't have too many. I think the correct number is going to be somewhere in the 5 to 6 range, since that shuts down most of the things that can blow up all of our stuff that players are likely to be running, but two. And again, we might not have room for it. That is not. Yeah. Yeah, so we might be able to lock our opponents out of being able to cast the thing that's going to either kill all of the creatures and therefore all of our auras off of them, or kill all of the enchantments, which is even worse because we do have curses and we probably have some auras that we can throw on non-creature permanents just to make sure she's doing stuff even when all of the other creatures explode. So, don't need Deadly Design, Sycophant, Free. When it becomes the monarch, if you were the monarch as the turn began, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. And then we're into cards. Alright. That's not too bad. Conspiracy into the core sets. Instant +2/+0, no. +1/+7. Target artifact, no. 1/1 counter, return target creature card. Emblem, create 3 cats with lifelink. Nope. Influence, no. Last Stand, no. Johnny's Welcome, no. Amulet of Safekeeping, Prison Gorgon. Yeah, things like Cleansing Nova. We want to be able to stop those things from being cast. Of catastrophes. Choose a color, gain a life. The center. Press. For each creature I control. Nope. Don't think we Hell Spectre. No, we don't want them sacrificing creatures, so go to Praying Omnipotence. Attacks gain 2 life. No. They'll target colorless creature. No. Permanent mana value 1. No. Knightly Valor. Knight's Pledge. Create 1/1. Sacrifice the creatures you control with power less than her power, gain indestructible. Nope. Attacks, create 2 1/1s. Either of these Lilianas or her contract. Her spoils. Can attack or block? No, that's just a worse pacifism. Take a stand. Bugler, no. Looking at Novice Knight, and it's just like, yeah, 1 mana 2/3 isn't going to tear things up, even if I suddenly could attack with it, so not gonna do much. Okay, what else we got? Him. That. Splendid Angel. Guardian, no. Shield Mare, no. Bag. Strangling Spores. Sun Cleanser, no. I don't need the Ogrifying Wand. Fire Sovereign. And Woodland Stream. Alright. This, that was 2019. For 2020. Aerial Assault. Adajani. Gain life equal number of creatures. 2/2 cat named Pridemate. Show Vitality. Do I have Angelic Gift? That Battle for Zendikar? Yeah. First time it showed up. I don't need Angelic Guardian. Apostle of Purifying Light. Audacious Thief. Protection from green. Necromancer, brought back. Think we need either of the Cavaliers. It does return an artifact or enchantment from my graveyard to my hand when it dies. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to have room for this triple white creature, though. Another creature enters the battlefield under my control. Each opponent loses a life. No. Instant, flying, lifelink. No. Red Presence. Eternal Isolation. It's +0/+2, assigns damage based on its toughness, and it has white 2, untap this creature. . Enters the battlefield, tap target creature and opponent controls, gives +1/+3. Nope. Gravedigger's Cage, Griffin Protector, Sentinel. There's a battlefield on your control, gain a life. No. And ley lines. Locks it on Life Chanter. Pacifism. I think so. Cleaner Cleansing. Raise the Alarm. Rule of Law. Symmetry. Guardian. Sorin. Unless there's a vampire I'm forgetting about that I'm suddenly going to desperately want in this deck. Even then, I don't think we need Sorin. Enchantment spells cost 1 less to cast. Whenever enchantment you control is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Maybe? So this is 20. This is Starfield Mystic. I might have to sit up. I'm having a terrible time typing while slouching. Human Cleric. Yep, 2/2. I mean, if we're going to run Champion of Aerois, I think this is a slightly better Champion of Aerois in our deck. Because the heroic thing, we're not going to trigger it all that often on him. Don't need the Bloodlord. Thought Distortion. Blade Paladin. Holy Indenture. Giant creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under my control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Oh, we have another similar card on the list. I think this one might be slightly better because it brings it back stronger, and I think that's the same casting cost. So we're going to run one of them. We probably run this one, and if we want both of them, you know, definitely want that one on the list also. But we have options. Alright. 20, core 21. Alright, Basri. Basri was a card that existed. Every single time we get to this set, I keep getting reminded that he's an actual card. And it's just kind of like, we ever do anything with this man? Like, he didn't get to show up. Like, he showed up after War of the Spark and has literally done nothing this entire time. So he's going to continue to do nothing because none of his cards particularly interest me. Very 1/1 counters matter. But, you know, it's a very popular thing with players. You'd think they could have done something with him at some point. Show up in any other product. Then again, you know, we also have characters like Calyx. Although Calyx actually got a halfway decent creature card now that he's been de-sparked, but it's kind of like, oh, hey, this guy was a thing, and then he lost his Planeswalker Spark already. We literally heard about him in the background of the one story, and that's all we've had so far to deal with him, so... At least he was in the story, technically. Like, Basri, there wasn't really much of a story going on in M21 following War of the Spark, so Like, we're going to introduce you to this guy because Gideon's dead. And we need another potential mono white planeswalker. And then stone nothing from that point forward. Don't need Payment Priest, Daybreak Charger. I kind of bounced over a few cards, so going back and double checking. Demonic Embrace has +3/+1 and has flying and is a demon in addition to its other types. Cast it from my graveyard by paying 3 life and discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs. Yeah, I don't know that it's worth discarding a card to do that. So, sorry, Demonic Embrace. There's a tiny bit, because I know there are cards that in white that will pay me back for getting an enchantment into play. So we can probably run it. It's a bit on the strong side to throw on our opponent's creatures, though, in case Eriette dies. So that might stop me from doing it also. Eliminate Faith's Fetters. We'll get to when we get to, because it's originally from Ravnica. First Ravnica. Existence, Fetid Imp, Gale Swooper, Gloom Sower, Griffinary, Hooded Blightfang. All creatures with mana value 3 or less from my graveyard. That. Attrition. I know Scarring is a reprint. Yeah, it's from, like, Origins. This creature dies, draw a card. Would not be the worst. This deck has whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. No. I don't need Liliana, or her Devotee, or her Scorn, Scavenger, Standard Bearer. Nope, none of those. Opponent attacks with a creature. If 2 or more of those creatures are attacking me or planeswalkers I control, I draw a card. And second spell each turn, draw a card. Nope. Not what we're looking for. Persistent Haze, or Pestilent Haze, rather. Prismite, Rambunctious Mutt, Revitalize, Rise Again. No. Hollow Blade. No. Silver Smoke Ghoul, no. Seeker for the Heavens, no. Skilled Enforcer, Ugin, Valorous Steed, no. Nope, okay. I mean, we could run Veto, since he is the one where they lose as much life as I gain, and he's relatively cheap, which means he can come down while Ariette's doing her thing and drain a ton of extra life from them. Because I'm going to gain life off of Ariette, so having them lose that much life. We just have to be careful we don't put, like, what's its name in here, Exquisite Blood, because that kind of detracts from the whole thing. But yeah, I can see the one that does a full drain getting into the deck, so Veto, or the Dusk Rose. Vampire, Cleric, 3. So that was core set 2021, so we're out of core sets for a bit. So we hit the M's. On to Dark Ascension then. No, definitely not. Trample Demon. Are the Door. Black Cat. Break of Day. Burden of Guilt. Eh. Eh. Curse of Misfortunes. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library for a curse card that doesn't have the same name as a curse attached to an enchanted player and put it onto the battlefield attached to that player, then shuffle. Also, Curse of Exhaustion, but I don't know that I need that one. Curse of Thirst. Maybe. Curse of Exhaustion, I don't think so, but black ones, probably. So, Curse of Misfortunes. Four and a black. And Curse. And Thirst. It's four and a black. Both four and a black. Okay. Death's Caress, no. Guys, create a 1/1, no. Target permanent I control gains protection from the color of my choice until end of turn. Think so. Spells a card, no. Messenger, no. Grave Purge, some Discovery, Hell Vault. No. Don't need the increasing cards. Lingering Souls, Chaos, Iblis. Another non-spirit, no. Seance. Skursdag Flare, no. 1/1 black vampire with lifelink. Creatures I control get +1 power. And destroy 3 creatures or planeswalkers and put them into play under my control. Whenever enchanted creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to its controller. There we go. There's something that helps me win the game. Spiteful Shadows. One in the back. Chant. It is not 91 colorless and a black mana. Alright. Thraben, Inspector. Sayer, no. Heretic, no. Vampire, Wake Dancer. I was looking at the sudden disappearance, and I'm trying to process like what we would need to have happen for that to actually be good. Like we basically need to cast Eriette after it, so that way everything comes back in. Like the trigger to bring everything back and her trigger go on the stack. We put everything comes back first, and then have all the auras drop back into play, and we can move them around where we needed them to be. But that seems like a whole lot of effort on a 6 mana sorcery. So we can do better than that. So Dark Ascension to Dark Steel. Aether Vial. Don't need Arcbound creatures. Burden of Greed. No. Death Cloud. I was about to say don't need Death Cloud. Don't want Death Cloud. Do not want our opponents to get to choose what gets killed. Them to be stuck with the auras on their creatures as much as possible. Like, we're already going to be up against it if we have to try and fight a, like, aristocrat-style deck. So, might as well not make it harder on ourselves by giving the non-aristocrats players the option to sacrifice their creatures. Pulses, don't need Purge. Ritual Restoration. Skull Clamp, Soul Scour. Running Pit. Steel Shaper Apprentice. All of these. Next page. Turn the tables. Nope. Okay. Back we go. Darksteel. Darksteel, we go to Dissension. I'm not expecting to have much for us. Sacrifice to prevent 3 damage. Cast a multicolored spell. No. Okay, untap target creature. And it has pumpable toughness. Blessing of the Nephilim. Agony. Brace for impact. Try. No. Whenever I cast an enchantment spell, put a 1/1 counter on each creature I control. I don't know how many actual creatures I'm going to have at this rate. Guesses, yeah. Celestial Ancient. I mean, if I wind up going with the cards that make creature tokens for me doing things with enchantments, I might have a lot of them, but I honestly don't think I'm going to wind up with too many. In fact, I'd be surprised if a card like this makes the list, so in the end, Delirium Skynes, Demon Jester. I have to imagine that I'm going to need room for so many auras that I won't have time for a card like that, so. Destroy target aura? It's terrible. Why would you do that? Infernal Tutor. Vessel. Stylistically, no. Proclamation of... Nope. Burial, no. Ragamuffin. Ratcatcher. Seal of Doom. Stealing Stance. Stoic Ephemera. Transguild Courier. Stone. Walking Archive, and Wit's End. Okay. Ascension onto Dominaria. Alright, Dominaria, what have you got for me? Other legendaries? No. Cares about knights? No. Baird. Marshall. Blessed Light is too much. Cast a historic spell, which most of my stuff won't be. Damping Sphere. Archaeologist. Bells and Lock. No. Yeah, I think most of the things in this set are going to be equipment because the enchantment side is taken up by sagas. So, don't think we're going to find anything else. Unless it's a random card that interacts with enchantments. Which it shouldn't. It should interact with historic, and regular old enchantments won't count, but... You gain life, draw that many cards. Whenever you lose life, exile a permanent you control or a card from your hand or graveyard. When it leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. I think so. Get any of the memorials. Replicator. Is legendary, gets +1/+1 and has flying, vigilance, and lifelink. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't want to put that on an opponent's creature at all. And I really don't have time to put it on my thing, so... Nope. Here... return target creature card with mana value 3 or less. Nope. Return target enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Technically from Urza's Legacy, and I don't think we need that effect that badly. I want to use a card to do that, so... Alright, so that was Dominaria. Dominaria United is next. Don't think we need the Peacekeeper. Can't run Archangel. Menace, sacrifice another creature. No. Instant, Vigilance, Enlist. That one. Don't need Braids. For her Frightful Return. Conscript, cut down. Enters the battlefield, you may put an aura equipment card from your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield attached to Danitha. So that's a little bit worse. Also, she's just a 5-mana 4/4 with some keyword soup on her. So... yeah, I don't think so. If she let you return it to the battlefield and choose a creature to attach it to, then I would be a lot more interested. If we could get back negative auras to throw on the opponent's creatures. Or even just put a positive one on it that's not, like, too bad for us. If they could suddenly attack us, like, either one would be fine. Don't need the Argosy, Griffin Protector. Unless a creature scry 2. Yeah. Codex, Forces, Karn Silex. I don't need either of the Knights. Leyline Binding, no. Draw a card, 1/1 bird. One counter of each up to 2 target creatures. Nope. Turn a creature from my graveyard to my hand. I don't really need a Gravedigger with lifelink. Prayer of Binding. If anything, I'm going to be more interested in the Gravedigger that gets back an enchantment also, but I'm trying to remember because the Gearsmith was white-black that gets back an artifact, and I think the problem is that the one that gets back enchantments is like Farika's creature or something. It's a Gorgon, so it's black-green. There's probably at least one other one that I'm forgetting that can get back an enchantment, just in general, but I'm forgetting what it is right now, so... Might be a thing later on that we can't actually get one. Mana value 3 or less. If you do, it gains when this permanent is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, exile it and gain 2 life. Yeah, I don't know that I'm going to be able to flicker the auras enough to get them, like, getting them back would be fine, but then I need to do something so they don't get exiled forever, I feel like, with the Paragon. Because I would rather recur them more frequently if I can. And we might actually be able to find the cards to do so. Can't run the arena because of the green. Up the shield. It's Sunlit Marsh. Is that the... I pass over it? Yeah, there it is. Alright, we might want to consider that, seeing as we're an enemy color deck. Aria... United. Sunlit Marsh. Yeah, 2-color enemy colors, you don't have as many good dual land options, so a card like that and the snow one actually become a lot more relevant to the deck. I don't think I need temporary lockdown for anything. That card, library for a card, lose 3 life, creature from a graveyard onto the battlefield. I don't think I need the cruelty of Gix. Completed. Wingmantle Chaplain. Nope. Okay. Back we go then. That was Dominaria United. Let's commander set real quick. Alright. Whenever a Historian's Boon or another non-token enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, make a soldier. Whenever the final chapter ability of a saga triggers, make an angel. Yeah, making the 1/1 for it entering probably isn't good enough by itself. Put there from the battlefield this turn, except it's a Phyrexian. No. Deals combat damage to a player, returns the battlefield target creature card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. Activating ability that isn't a mana ability. If life was paid to activate it, you may pay that much life again. If you do, copy that ability and choose new targets. Less Pendant, Obsidian Obelisk. Nope. Oh, there's also a couple more artifacts hiding. Another legendary source that's not a commander. Nope. Okay. That we have Dragon's Maze. Those Blackguard, Blood Baron, Blood Scrivener. Get to the Deathless. Snare Squad. Profit and Loss. Aw. Don't need the Abomination or the Sentinel. Think we need Obsidian's Aid. Bluestone. Yeah, Pontiff is okay, but not essential. Ounce, Riot Control. There's a battlefield. If you cast it from your hand, create a 1/1 white bird token, then populate. Sin Collector. Sinister Possession. Whenever enchanted creature attacks or blocks, its controller loses 2 life, and it's only 1 black to cast. Probably don't have room for too many of these, and I probably want better ones than this, but at the same time, it's kind of on theme. We are in Dragon's Maze. Sinister Possession. Chant Aura. Yeah, I have to believe we're going to find better stuff, but at the same time, this is one of those random cards I would pull out and then wind up shoving right back in the binder later on when I realize that, no, we have better options. I just don't know what the better options are yet. Dragon's Maze, Dragons of Tarkir is next. These so far. No. Giant creature has double. Oh, that's Battle Mastery, so that would be from Lorwyn anyway. Ant-Man. Think so. Deathwind, Deathbringer Regent, Dragon Hunter, Idol. Ooh, excuse me. Bell-Tongue Invocation, no. Tongue Shriek. Glaring Aegis enters the battlefield. Oh, is that the exact same one? M20. Yeah, okay. Enchant creature gets +1/+1 for each 1/1 counter on other creatures you control. Enchant creature has vigilance and white tap bolster 1. Trove, Hidden Dragon Slayer, I don't think so. Skirmisher, Lightwalker. Realized. Orator. Zealous Horde, no. Journey. Radiant. Exile target multicolored creature or multicolored enchantment. Nope. Gale Blessing. Scion. Secure the Waste. DC. Our Assassin, no. Strong Arm Monk. Sunscorch Regent. Nope. Okay, next page. Yep, alright. Dragons. Have all the dual decks. We want to start with E and then scroll up a little bit. Yeah. I'm gonna say I don't think there are anything in the D's after the dual decks. So on to Eldritch Moon. That or that. Set Alliance, no. Borrowed Grace. There's a creature you control attacks, defending player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Nope. Can attack or block and sacrifice restraints, exile enchanted creature. I think so. I don't need brutality, don't need effort. Top 4 cards of your library reveal a human, Cryptolith Fragment, Dark Salvation, Play the Gatewatch, Sentry, no. Bender. Circle. That creature I control. Exile target creature an opponent controls until Faith Unbroken leaves the battlefield. Yeah, it's kind of asking for trouble, I feel like. Please. Please kill my creature. In fact, if you could wrath away all of the creatures on board so that way you can get your thing back and everybody else can be left with nothing, that would probably be even better for you. Ironclad Slayer may return target aura or equipment from your graveyard to your hand. Possibly. Ironclad Slayer. 2 and a white. Human Soldier 2. Human Soldier 3/2. Human Warrior 3/2. Human Warrior 3/2. Alright. Liliana and her elite. Lone Rider, no. Long Road. Command creature gets +2/+2 and has 1. Sacrifice a permanent. Yeah, giving my opponent that ability seems terrible. So, on top of it already being a buff for them. I don't need Peace of Mind, Prying Questions. No. It gets +1/+1, exile creature from your graveyard, make a 1/1. Nope. Selfless Spirit. May cast aura and equipment spells as though they had flash. Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield, actually we might want Sigarda's Aid if we can get enough of those when creature is dealt damage, deals that much to its controller type of things. Since we're going to be running some number of those anyway, being able to flash it into play to make things awkward for the opponent seems okay. I don't need Strange Augmentation. No to Thalia. Billing Ghoul. Spurs and Wretched Griff. Nope, okay. That's Eldritch Moon. What's next? Because we're almost at time. Yeah, we can do Eventide real quick. I don't think I need the Archon. Ashling, no. Prevent all combat damage to be dealt. If white was spent, each player loses 1 life for each attacking creature they control if black was spent. I need Cauldron Haze. Other white creatures get +1/+1. Other black creatures get +1/+1. Cast a white spell, tap a creature. Cast a black spell, destroy target creature if it's tapped. Don't think I need the edge. It is kind of interesting, though, so if I don't play it on exactly a white-black creature, it can't give more than one of the 2 bonuses. And if it's not either of those things, it's just a 1 mana aura that is stopping the creature from attacking and blocking because of my commander. From your graveyard to the battlefield, you may put an aura with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield attached to it if you don't exile it. Yeah, I would be a lot more interested in that if I was trying to do like a Voltron type deck where I want to stack a whole bunch of auras onto a thing. Yeah, I don't think so then. Flicker Wisp. Make a 1/1. -1/-1 counter on target creature. Nope. Light from within. So. Spectre, Nightmare Incursion, Willian. Player returns each creature card from their graveyard to the battlefield with an additional -1/-1 counter on. Nope. Non-black spell. That player loses 1 life. Gives me hexproof. Some O1s. Bunch of abilities, which are relevant to our thing. Fake. And Voracious Hatchling. Alright. So we're just about at the hour mark, so I'm going to call it there for this one, and we'll be back in a little bit. I'll do a draft or two, but thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good rest of your day.